Kevin J. Johnston, the #1 name in the land of the North, he's risen to fame. 40 years deep in the law he's read. Now the CRA shakes in fear and dread. Stop paying tax forever, my friend. With Kevin J. Johnston, the fight doesn't end. Corporate debt, he'll make it all good. He's the man the CRA misunderstood. They vanish like mist when Kevin shows up with his legal fist. No more matching, no more lies, just clean-cut books and clear blue skies. Stop paying tax forever, my friend. With Kevin J. Johnston, the rules start to bend. The CRA can scream and shout, but Kevin knows how to throw them out. They claim they've got the final say, but Kevin proves there's a better way. He fights for truth, he fights for you, and teaches what the courts won't do. Forever today. Let Kevin J. Johnston show you the way. The expert, the rebel, the man with a plan. He's saving this nation, one client per hand. He's got 40 years of tax law knowing and corporate skills that keep cash flowing. And GST payroll all in line. He'll save your neck and every dime. He studied law, both civil crime, and makes tax code sound so sublime. With stand-up jokes and punchlines tight, he makes your seminar a night of light. Kevin J, CRA just runs away. He's the tax manslayer with a legal plan, the best-looking genius in the land. Kevin J, taking all your tax away. If the government's scared, then it's safe to say he's the hero of the North, Kevin J. 2 million women cast their vote, said Kevin's hot, that's all she wrote. The suits at CRA can't compete, he's beaten them clean without deceit. 100 mil he's saved so far, he's raising truth like a legal star. And if you think you owe the state, he'll show you how to terminate. Kevin J, CRA just runs away. He's the tax manslayer with a legal plan, the best-looking genius in the land. Kevin J, taking all your tax away. If the government's scared,
Welcome to the Tax and Money Show. My name is Kevin J. Johnston, and this show runs positively every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on freedomreport.ca. We're simultaneously broadcasting on every social media platform we can find. And for those of you who like to see my face only without seeing graphics, you can always follow me on TikTok at Real Kevin J. Johnston, or over here on Instagram at Kevin J. Johnston Forever. We have a lot of questions to go through tonight. I'm going to start off with a stupid comment that I got on one of my, actually it was Threads. That's correct. Threads. I made a comment that I can get you out of paying tax forever in Canada. And someone says this to me. Oh man, here we go. Don't use our roads or transit if I don't pay tax. I guess the question is, why does this particular individual who's criticizing me want to pay tax? What do you get for it? We are not getting new roads in Canada. We are not getting new airports in Canada. We're not getting anything of any value in Canada for that tax money. Let's go back to his statement. Fire, accident, injury, crime, don't call emergency services for help. Now, that's where he gets it wrong. That's not federal. That is provincial. All right, that is provincial. And for those of you out there who have any knowledge whatsoever of how Canada is currently functioning, Canada is number 63 in the world for healthcare. So it's not like your tax dollars are going to save your life. In fact, you remember during the COVID thing, when Canadian hospitals were going out of their way to kill Canadians and not help Canadians. And as it stands also in Canada, we've had the Canadian government kill more than 150,000 Canadians advertising MAID, medical assistance in dying, as somehow a good alternative to cancer treatment. Yeah, don't try to survive, everybody. Die. Come over. Like we'll put drugs in your body here in a Canadian hospital. And the taxpayer pays for these drugs, by the way. And when you're choking to death on your own saliva, we're probably going to start to cut you open prior to death and get those organs removed so we can make some hardcore dough. Yeah, Canada's becoming as bad as China is when it comes to the theft of organs. So your tax dollars are not really all that useful towards keeping you healthy or alive. Next, it says, don't use our parks or forests. Okay, forests are just there. All right, that's all that they are. If it's crown land, or provincial land or municipal land, a forest will be there without any human beings intervening in any particular way. It's kind of a stupid statement. As for parks, those are municipal, unless the federal government announces that it is a federal park, like Banff. Banff in Alberta is actually a federal park. And I find it very strange that there's a town called Banff inside of Banff National Park, where you have to plead your case to the government to say, hi, I want to live in Banff. And they sit you down and listen to your story and will tell you if you qualify to live there or not, or open a business there or not. So even though Banff has a mayor, supposedly, they don't have any real municipal power. It's actually a federal park. So do I care about Banff in the grand scale of things when I'm trying to make money and keep it? And the answer is a resounding no. No, I don't care. And I will go to Banff whether I'm paying tax or not. Thank you very much. Next, it says, get rid of your own waste. I won't get rid of my own waste if I don't pay tax. Wrong. I could, if I chose to, burn it. You could do that, but that's a lot of work. Sewers are municipal in Canada. That's property tax. And that's the only tax I do pay, and only because I haven't figured out how to beat property tax yet. But I'm a clever guy, and I promise you I will eventually figure that out. Next, he's saying, don't use community centers or library. Once again, those are municipal. My property tax pays for those, not my income tax, not my provincial tax, not my Canada pension plan contributions, and not my EI contributions. All right. So this person doesn't know what they're talking about. This is what we call an armchair lawyer. All right. No clue what they are really getting at. Children, question mark, don't send them to school. Oh, you got that right. I'm not sending kids to, my God, don't send your kids to any Canadian school. You're asking for trouble. You're asking for your kids to be exposed to really bizarre stuff I'm not going to talk about here because it's a tax show, but you also are going to have your kids indoctrinated into extremist left-wing thinking. So I would say don't pay tax at all and have the entire school system in Canada collapse due to lack of financing. That's what has to happen. Education system was worthless when I was in it back in the 70s and 80s. But now, wow, is it horrendous. All right, next. Don't use the legal system for anything. I have been an involuntary user of the Canadian judiciary and legal system now for 8 straight years. Why? Because I have conservative views. In fact, I sit just slightly right of center with all of my views. And as a result of that, the Canadian government doesn't like what I have to say. So they've put me into the court system, to which I've made more than 400 court appearances in 8 years. So I've had enough of it. I don't want there to even be a court system in Canada anymore, because the court system in Canada is not about justice. It is about punishment for the actual taxpayers. Conservatives, people in the center, people on the right, pay tax. They shouldn't, but they do. Hence, the courthouses exist. The left wing doesn't work. They don't pay tax. Yet the left wing runs the very same courthouses that we're talking about. So let's all stop paying tax so the courthouses can shut down. Those are provincial, by the way, not federal. All right, next. Don't expect OAS or CPP. Canada Pension Plan, that's going to be empty by the year 2032. So don't pay into it anymore at all. Why would you want to do that? Next, he says to me, if you were to be critically injured or I get no disability payments. We do taxes here. Nobody is getting disability payments anymore. Nobody, no matter how bad the disability is, and no matter what court cases they have won, nobody's getting disability payments in Canada. So if you're not going to be getting any disability payments at all, and no new roads, no new airports, no new shipping ports, garbage courthouses run by left-wing nuts who want to instill very strange left-wing ideologies, an education system that's worth absolutely nothing, a banking system that will not allow Canadians to transfer money to any other country in the world except the USA. What exactly are you paying tax for in Canada? It doesn't even stay in the country. I know where it goes. Everyone knows I used to be a journalist. You all know that I reported to all of you that it goes to Ethiopia to buy guns, and to Eritrea to buy guns, and to Lesotho to buy guns, and Nigeria to buy guns, and to Bangladesh to buy guns. Yeah, Canada is funding proxy wars all over the world. Why would you want to pay into that? Every single time I save or take $1 away from the CRA, I'm saving some child's life somewhere. I've got the moral high ground, everybody. And remember, I'm the one that was in these war zones. I'm the one that filmed this stuff. I'm the one that had court orders after court order after court order, not allowing me to show the general public just how bad these war zones were at the behest of Canadian funding. The Canadian government is evil as hell, funding wars all over the place. And then I am told that I'm not allowed to show the footage that I shot myself in these war zones. So please don't pay tax in Canada. You're definitely watching the right show if you'd like to know how to never again pay taxes in Canada. All right, everyone, we're going to start the questions going here. So we've got TikTok here, we've got Instagram here, we got Kick up here, we got YouTube and Restream and Rumble and all of them. So go ahead and throw your questions into the room there, and I'm going to address as many as I possibly can for all of you. Alrighty, so Supreme Lucre is asking about the underused house tax. I'm just going to read to you what that is. Underused house tax, UHT, is an annual federal 1% tax on the ownership of vacant or underused housing in Canada that took effect on January 1st of 2022. Meaning, if you have purchased 10 condos and 2 houses and no one lives there, they're going to tax you 1% of the value of the property. So how do you avoid that? Lie. Yeah, I've got renters in there. I got Bob, I got Steve, I got Victor, Michael, Mohammed, Parminder, Wang, and Wong. Both of them are in there. Lie. Do not tell the government the truth. What is the point of telling the truth when you're going to get a 1% tax on every single one of your properties? It's crazy. If someone, look, you got to tell people, especially in our modern world, whatever they need to hear to go away. That's it. That just go away. Let me give you an example. I want to maybe explain this so that it's easy to understand. When I was young, my father was an overbearing, aggressive guy. He'd say stuff, I would argue. Why? Because I felt that something was going to be better in my life if I won the argument. And then eventually I got lectured by an employer of mine, pretty cool guy named Mark Palazis, awesome guy. He says, yeah, don't argue with stupid people. Don't argue with stupid people. Just say, yep. If a stupid person thinks they've won, they go away and they're going to forget about their victory. So I just started saying, yep, you got it. Done deal. I wasn't even listening to what he was saying, but he'd walk away and literally would forget about absolutely everything that I agreed to or said yes to. So whenever stupid people are making requests, you got it. Sure thing. Yep. And I'm not going to do it. If someone's telling me to do something and me agreeing to do it, it gets them to shut up and go away, I say it and then do my own thing anyway. And if they come back and say, I thought I told you to do this and you said, yes, you would agree to it. Oh, I'm sorry. Could you show me a contract with my name and signature on that, please? There you go. That's that. Same thing with the government. Tell them whatever they need to hear to go away. Do you have any vacant land? I'm afraid that's none of your business. And I got to use the John. So I'll see you later. There you go. So everybody, I'd like you all to recognize the fact that you are not obligated to answer anybody's questions at all. The right to remain silent it's remarkable. Shut up. Stop talking about your stuff. Period. Real Goat says, I owe $200,000 to the CRA. Should I be worried? Real Godin, is that corporate? Is that personal? I would need to know a little bit more about that. And not worried. You should never be worried. You should be vigilant. Those two words do not mean the same thing. All right. So Real Godin, you should be vigilant in your personal tax. If the CRA says you owe tax money, let's redo your taxes for 10 years and set your tax bill to zero. Resubmit everything. If they say they won't accept it, appeal their decision. If you lose the appeal, sue the CRA. It just keep it going. So long as it's always in the courts or always in a state of appeal, you don't owe the money. Clause 7 of the Taxpayers' Bill of Rights dictates that quite clearly, that you do not owe any tax dollars so long as amounts are in dispute. We got a question here from Nick Zink. Hey, Kevin, keep up the awesome work. Keep waking people up. Was talking to Jay a few weeks ago. I'll be calling it again to get a corporation set up. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you for letting me know. I do appreciate that. Okay. Troy says you have to prove someone lives in the house. No, you don't. You just have to say they do. Yeah, someone lives there. Yeah. Who? They'll ask, oh, who's there? None of your effing business. Get off my property. Don't call me again. Why would, Troy, as an adult, why would you think that you need to justify yourself to anyone? You are not guilty until proven innocent. You are completely innocent and scot-free until you are proven guilty. And how do you stay innocent in the eyes of these people? Get rude, get crass, get vulgar, tell them never to call you again. As I told you in this show many, many times, when I am on the phone with CRA reps or Ontario Labor Board reps or any loser that works for any branch of the Canadian government, I'm always polite at the beginning. Always. Because, that whole flies honey thing, right? But when they get belligerent, I elevate it just a little bit. Not because I'm emotional, but just because sometimes you have to match it. And if they get even more belligerent, then I get belligerent. I talk at length about their mothers, their own genitalia, where they place their genitalia, how many odd objects have been inside of their orifices. Sometimes I get hardcore racist when I'm talking to these people. And that is what they would consider hostile. So they give up. You have the right, Troy, to do the same thing. Hey, Troy, tell me your home address right now. Right? What's your mother's name? What's your bank card number? What's your PIN? Tell me all that right now. You're probably going to tell me where to go. That's the correct answer to every single question that people are asking you about anything to do with your personal life. It is that simple. Joyce, what happens if someone deposits a large amount of money from overseas? Do I have to report that? I was told CRA sends yearly statements to the CRA about income. No, it doesn't matter. Let's just say it's your money. What if it's your money coming in from Hong Kong to Toronto? What if it's your money coming in from Moscow to Montreal? That's not earnings. That's just your money. And again, I just told you, if someone calls, hey, you had a deposit of $500,000. What was that for? Oh, that was so that I could get a forklift to pick up your mama out of my bedroom and get her off the street. Don't ever call me again. Hang up the phone. My God, everybody, stop talking. You don't have to answer questions. Who cares what they ask? Who cares that they say on the phone, yes, I work with FinTrack and my badge number is 4842. I've got some questions to ask. You all know that you don't have to talk to the cops. People walk around on YouTube and TikTok and whatnot, irritating police officers specifically to quote the law to cops. Now, if you can do that to the guys who have body armor and guns on them, you certainly can do the same thing to somebody on the phone. Do you not think? Stop talking. There you go. Get rude. Get crass. Lucas, oh, you want your taxes filed? No problem. I think that we're already doing your taxes for you, if I've got that correct. Okay. MT says, but they can freeze your bank accounts. Again, I got to clarify that. The CRA sends out a requirement to pay letter to the bank. The banks could ignore it. The banks could say, no, call our lawyer. But the banks choose to commit the crime of theft and breach of trust and give your money to the CRA. So you got to sue the bank and you got to file criminal charges against the bank manager and everybody who works in that bank branch for stealing your money. They'll say, it wasn't me, it was head office. So, no problem. You can tell us on the stand who it was in head office that told you to steal, and they'll get charged too. No problem. But Canadians don't do this. Canadians regrettably don't think like I do, and they don't see the whole world as some type of man-made, made-up joke. It is a joke, and they don't react appropriately. Everyone goes straight to panic mode and fear instead of going to attack mode. Instantly to attack mode. Some guy points a gun at you, you got to go attack mode. Some guy decides to get in your face in a bar, and then you know for a fact he's got a knife in his hand. You got to shove him. You got to go right into attack mode. Shove him, run. Get the hell out of the bar. The hell are you going to hang around for? It's the same thing with all these stupid CRA people. Tell them to get lost, hang up the phone, stop talking to them. Homer Doucet, do First Nations have to pay capital gains? Well, if you're a status Indian, no. And if you keep your mouth shut, no. In fact, nobody watching has to pay capital gains so long as you keep your mouth shut about what you got. It's line 12,700 on the tax return. Leave it blank. Keep going. Sign the bottom. Send it in. Done. All righty. So let's have a quick look here. Top C. Hey, Kevin, waiting for your email to start a corporation. Let you know. All right. So Randy is going to email you this evening, Top C. Why don't you just head over to my website right now and put Top C in the subject line on the form. Randy will send you an email now during the show because I know he's watching right now. Minkman says, are you still able to buy corporate business? Of course. We're buying like 3 or 4 corporations a day now. Absolutely. If any of you out there have corporate debt, GST, HST, PST, payroll, bank loans, credit cards, judgments, whatever you got, sell me the company. I take all your debt. You start over. You get to zero. Things are going to be good for you at that point. Can you explain your process for selling crypto to avoid CRA taxes? Oh, yeah. If I feel like selling my crypto, I sell my crypto and keep my mouth shut. That's it. That's it. I just took business away from myself by telling you that. Cash your crypto out. I don't cash mine out, but if you want to cash your crypto out, by all means, cash it out and shut up. Just stop talking about it. They don't know. The collective intelligence quotient of the entire CRA is 51, maybe. They don't understand what crypto is, and there's no legislation that says that you have to pay in crypto. I mean, the CRA has no provisos for action figures. Let's just say, for argument's sake, I want you to pay me for my tax services in G.I. Joe action figures. Remember the ones from the 80s with the screws in the elbow and the knees so you could bend them in 90 different directions? What if I took payment in G.I. Joe action figures? How would the CRA tax me on that? There's no rules or laws written that state, well, if Kevin J. Johnston or anybody else out there wants to take action figures or transformers or compact discs as payment, that we must tax them because we know what these things are. They don't have anything like that in there. So be silent. Joyce says, I don't get why you'd buy business debt. What are you getting when you buy CRA debt? I make money. Why else would I do it? I make money. Everything I do is to make money. Everything. I live a life where I'm up every day between, let's say, 4 and 6 a.m. And I am talking to clients till about 2. I go to the gym. I get back and I get back on the phone with clients. I get exhausted. I go to sleep and I repeat the process. I buy corporations in debt because I make money on it and for no other reason. I wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be a favor I would do for everybody. That's for sure. Okay. I got a comment here. Roger says, CRA sent us a letter for a balance and it's CRA collections. They're threatening you. What do you do? Make a phone call, or I could make the phone call on your behalf and say that I'm you and ask them to justify what they've done. Ask them to reassess you right there on the spot. When you get your reassessment, appeal it immediately. And then everybody, on January 1st, when my AI system goes live and you're able to get onto my website and do your taxes on your own, and you can set it to 0 tax, you'll be able to get away from all these stupid letters because your tax return will say 0. All right. Wolf number 8 says, how do I make money? Buying and selling debt. Remember that commercial? Remember the Calgon commercial from 1977? Ancient Chinese secret. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you my methods. I invented this. Being a debt broker is something I invented after 40 years of studying tax law. You want me to sit here and tell you all my secrets? Not going to happen. Just rest assured, I'm very happy with what I do. How do I feel about Charlie Kirk? Well, I was always a Charlie Kirk fan. He's a very well-spoken guy, 31 years of age, and he spoke like he was someone that was 100 years old, but I mean 100 years worth of experience, not talking like an old man. I disagreed with maybe 3 points the man made in the entire time. You know that I'm a purveyor of free speech. You know that I've had to do prison time in Canada for speaking my mind, never for committing a crime, but just for talking, similar to how Charlie Kirk would speak. And for those who doubt me, all right, these are my prison slippers. I wear them all the time. I got these at Calgary Remand Center. So I'm just saying, everyone, that Charlie Kirk is representative of what's going on worldwide. There's a worldwide attack and assault on free speech everywhere. Now, we've had to endure the extremist far left for the last 8 years. The pendulum is swinging the other way. And when you take out a conservative at a time like this, the whole world is going to side against you. So you're about to see conservatism make a huge comeback as a result of this. Now, that's not going to equate to more money for Canadians, just for the record. It will for Americans. not for Canadians. Because regrettably, about 50 to 60% of the Canadian populace is far left. It's really quite ridiculous. Let me just get that blur to stop there. Okay. Let's see. Deport Dukes. Put down Deport Dukes in the subject line on my website right now. Randy's going to reply to you during the show. Do it now, please. Just having a quick peek here at a whole bunch of comments. So we got there. Mad KM USA says, I like this guy. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Welcome to the show. Steven says, if you're a Canadian getting money from the USA, should you set up a U.S. corporation to hold on to it? Should you also have a Tangerine or Coho account in Canada to integrate? Okay, whoa, yes. For Canadians, please listen to this. This is a good question. I'm going to rephrase it for everybody. As a Canadian citizen, if you are working abroad, usually it's the United States, do you have to declare your American income if you're working in the United States? No, you do not. You don't have to declare income working anywhere in the world. There are 2 countries in the world that have pay-to-play citizenship, which means if you're a citizen, you pay tax no matter where you are in the world. The United States of America and Eritrea. Yeah, that's it. So if you're a Canadian making money in the States, don't report it. Keep it. Set up a U.S., Wyoming, Delaware, Florida. Those are the 3 best states to open up corporations. Open up a corporate bank account. Put your money there. Ta-da! No, you don't declare any of that. You want to know how big a coward almost every accountant is in Canada? We had a gentleman here. He works in the United States for 8 months of the year. He goes home to Canada for 4 months of the year. Doesn't work during that time. Thought he was doing the right thing, getting an accountant to look at his books. The accountant asks him, do you have any property in the United States? He says, 1, I live there 8 months of the year. The accountant says, okay. But then the accountant calls him up a month later saying, you lied to me. You do have property in the United States. You've got a bank account in Florida. You've got a bank account in Mississippi. Really? The accountant, his own accountant, looked into him to tell him, I'm going to report your bank accounts and your house to the CRA. Canadians are paying accountants, and this is what accountants are doing. No, you don't declare anything that you make outside of Canada. Even if you're in Canada and you're making money in the United States online, leave it in your American account and shut up about it. You don't declare that. Why would you do that? If you have a house in Mexico and you sell it, people have asked me before, do I have to pay capital gains on the townhouse I sold in Mexico City? No. Why would you tell them that? You shouldn't have told me that. You shouldn't tell anyone that. Here's it. Look, everyone, shut up about everything you own. I don't know what it is with everybody. You know, you sit around. Imagine this is a wine glass, all right? And you go to a party. Yeah, so I bought myself a condominium in Miami. It's wonderful. And I was over in Houston last week, and I was prospecting land. Yes. And I bought a house for $2 million. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't understand why people tell the truth about their stuff. What is this desperate need everybody has to show off about what you have? This is crazy, man. You gotta stop. If someone says to me, do you own property? Nope. Do you have any money in Canada? No. Do you have any investments anywhere? No. No, I got nothing. Well, how do you survive? Oh, I'm gorgeous. I'm like handsome as hell and women buy me stuff. It's a lie. But, you know, why? I'm not going to tell people what I own. And you got to stop doing that too. Stop showing off. You know, if you buy yourself a brand new car, Everyone takes a photo of the car and throws it on Facebook. Hey, look, I treated myself to a new car. Why would you do this? All your friends out there who are struggling financially are going to start asking questions. Well, why does he get a car and I don't? Why does he have disposable income to buy a car and I don't? Then they start putting stupid ideas in their own head. Yeah, you know, his wife's better looking than my wife, and his kid's better behaved than my kid, and his house is bigger than mine. Why? It's resentment. My God, you know what I did when I had a Facebook account? I was at a junkyard and I took a picture of a car that was a complete mess. Hey guys, look at the new car I bought. And everyone's joking, like, yeah, nice car, Kev. Like, beautiful. It wasn't my car, it was a junker. Stop showing off. If you want to keep your stuff, man, you got to stop talking about it. All right, moving on here. Wolf8 says, I need a new numbered corporation. How do I do this tomorrow? Well, we can do it tomorrow for you, no problem. Go to my website, kevinjjohnston.com right now. Randy's standing by to answer you on that form. Done. We'll have it done tomorrow before bedtime. Not a problem at all. Lumber guy, if the crypto exchange issues a T5 slip for the sale of crypto on your account, how do you deal with the issue? If I'm your tax guy, I cancel the T5. Yeah, you can do that. There's a town in Quebec called Jean-Pierre. It's a Francais place. It's an old wood mill town. And the Walmart supplies half the jobs. The CRA supplies the other half of the jobs. That's it. So we send off a notification that the T5 is not authorized. It's not authorized. You have to authorize a T5 before somebody can just send it in. All right, that's it. We cancel it. Or we can just put down, yeah, you know what? I had a crypto loss. Who's to say? How would anybody know? Let's say you bought Bitcoin for $1,000 and then it got stolen from you when it was worth $150,000. That's a capital loss of $140,000. Mark that down. They wouldn't know. They'll say to you, well, could we see your wallet? No, you can't see my wallet. No. You can even make deals. Yes, you can see my wallet. If you come over here, get naked and do 50 push-ups with an elephant sitting on your back, no problem. That's the deal. Make a deal. You know, they're not going to go for it. But if you always speak with confidence to these people and you're always sharp with your answers to these people, they'll leave you alone. Shut up about your crypto. Shut up. All right. Tasty THC. Okay, I get it. I have 10 corps I'm opening and closing. CRA is chasing me for capital gains. I already paid, and the corps that I don't direct, can we chat? They're assessed 4-year-old returns, and they say you owe $150,000. Sell me the companies that have debt. I'll take them off your hands. The answer is yes to that. Stephen, if you are a Canadian getting money from the USA, oh yeah, we've already answered that question. Okay. So our Melinik 68, go to my website right now. Randy will answer you right now. Brenter, thank you for that. Oh, someone said TikTok is freezing. Everybody on TikTok, let me know. Are we freezing? I'm just looking at the Instagram. Okay, back to TikTok's questions. Can you specify if it's DEX you use while selling crypto? Well, I don't know. You can use whatever you want to sell crypto. The easiest way to sell crypto is to have a crypto.com account, transfer everything to your crypto.com account wallet, and then sell it through crypto.com. They are actually the easiest platform to use, and they're the most fun. Do it through them. Keith, I saw your post on not letting CRA know about your crypto. Do the crypto platforms report to the CRA? Only the Canadian ones. That's it. Who's that? ShakePay, Coinberry. I think they're gone now, but anything to do with WonderFi, is it Coinbase, BitBuy, a couple of the others? They do, because Canadian companies suck. They're all run by cowards, and you don't want to do business with cowards. Dawson, I want you to do my taxes, but you can't get a hold of me. Sure you can. Website, Randy, now. He'll reply right now. Graziano says, Crypto, good. CEX, crypto.com, good. DEX, Uniswap, cold wallet, ledger, hot wallet. Okay, yep. So there you go. With MetaMask. Yes, and I still use MetaMask as well. Dawson says, I have 2 businesses that need filing. Beautiful. Let's do them. Let's make sure you owe no tax money. Tony, I needed you to do corporation and personal taxes. Okay, well, that's what we do. Everyone will be happy to know that we're getting really caught up now on the personal tax bits, so we can start doing personal taxes again as early as October 15th. We're going to be rocking and rolling here, so let us know. What are the chances the Supreme Court will rule against Trump on tariffs in October? Well, depends on the jurisdiction, depends on the judge, and depends on the left or right leaning of the judge. If it's a left-leaning judge, they hate Trump, they'll just side against him. If it's a conservative judge, they'll side with him. That's how it is. Unfortunately, there's no integrity left in the Western world. Judges no longer do what's right and no longer abide by the law. It's all whichever ideology they've chosen to be a part of. That's what's happened here. It's sad. Arch says, I went to your website to get a hold of you. You couldn't set up what? Just use the contact form. Do that now, please. Randy's right there. Do I have 2 accounts here on TikTok? Yes. This one and official Kevin J. Johnston, which has no traffic. I opened that one up a few years ago. Beyond that, there's probably 300 plus scam accounts right now. So would everybody please do me the biggest of favors? Don't DM me on social media. It's ridiculous that I have to say, use my website only. I don't have time to go through social media messages. I just don't. Go to the website, use the form. That's a guarantee you'll get one of us to get back to you. On social media DMs, I don't know. I might dedicate an hour a month to it because I just don't have time. Also, I do not chat through Telegram. And all the scammers out there are asking for money through Telegram. I don't do that. I don't ask for money unless we speak in a chat room where you can ask me to show you something on my desk, like my rubber nub point for touching my phone screens. I'll show you that. Well, hey, we talked about it. Transparent pop cans. I'll show you something off my desk. Nasal spray. All right. Glass of water. I'll take a sip for you. The camouflage mouse. You got to talk to me. I'm not asking for money without a conversation taking place. Even if it's only a 5-minute phone call, you'll still be able to realize that you're not talking to an AI bot, because there is no AI bot out there that could possibly follow along with the way that I enunciate. Wouldn't happen. Period. What are you going to do? Tell the AI? Well, you could tell the AI. Tell a joke. You could tell the AI to tell a story. It's not going to get anything interesting there. It certainly won't tell you one of my anecdotal tales. So careful is what I'm saying. And if you're not going to take my advice and communicate with me through my website, and you do get ripped off by somebody in Nigeria because you gave them money through Telegram, I'm not going to help you get it back. There's no money in that for me. All right. I'm a businessman. I want to make money. But I'm telling all of you, you got to protect yourselves at all times. Doesn't matter if it's me or anyone else. If you can't talk to somebody on the phone, or you can't have a conversation in a chat room or through WhatsApp or Signal or something like that, if you cannot converse with the person where you ask them to interface and interact with something on their desk, you tell the guy, scratch your face for me. The AI won't do that. I've seen some of these AI deep fakes where it's me. Hello, give me 1 Bitcoin. Right, that's what it does. So these deep fakes suck. Now, deep fakes will eventually get better. They will, but they're not there yet. So please make sure you're talking to me before you pay anything. All right, Tasty THC. So is it best to say I'm renting all the houses I Airbnb instead of... okay. Didn't quite catch the question, but if you own rental properties, shut up about them. Pocket the rent and shut up. Everyone says, yeah, but I want to write off the roof. What's a roof cost if you get new shingles? $3,000? You're going to write that off, but then tell the CRA that you're making $2,500 a month off your house? How does that help you? And then when you report once, they're always expecting that property to have rental income. So, shh. Anybody that wants to get a hold of me, website. Bitcoin solves everything? Well, I would say so. I would rather have crypto than Canadian dollars any day of the week, which is why I offer 10% discounts on all my services, regardless of how big that 10% would be if you pay in crypto. The ones that I do take for the 10% discount, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, USDC. There you go. Cool Tunes said, I just got reassessed for 2021 and they say I owe them $3,000 and they message you. Okay, so you have to grab, everyone look this up right now if you have a browser handy. It is the CRA objection form. Simple form, your name, social insurance number, address. Tell them that you object, they got your taxes wrong. All right, there you go. And if they don't side with you, then you appeal and take it to tax court. Dawson, we have availability right now. In fact, everyone, for those who don't know, we have a group consultation coming up on Wednesday, October the 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you head over to kevinjjohnston.com right now, you can buy yourself a spot. But I still have about 15 or 20 open consultation times right now. I checked that this morning. They didn't sell out. I know they didn't sell out. So they are there waiting for you on my website. Okay. Just having a quick peek at your questions here. Wally Wood says, this is a recording. Wally Wood, if this was a recording, how would I have replied to you? No, it is not a recording. It is currently 9:48 p.m. Eastern time on the 16th of September, 2025. Having a quick look here at more of your questions. What are some of the crypto exchanges that I use to cash out? I don't cash out. I won't cash out. I love crypto. I trade crypto between exchanges and I buy coins with coins and I buy coins with cash. I do not cash out. The only way that I'm going to cash out ever is if I have, let's say, 1,000 Bitcoin and somebody here in Panama says, I want to sell you this 30-story building here for Bitcoin. Well, then I'll say, sure, no problem. Let's get the lawyer over here. Let's sign the deed, transfer Bitcoin. That's how I'm cashing out. Malona, I got a demand to file my corporate income tax. Do I have to comply? My accountant is gone. Well, it's always in your best interest, even if you just file a null return, get those idiots off your back. That's what you do. Just get them off your back, file the return, get rid of them. So Malona, what you could do is put your corporation's name and 9-digit business number at the top of the tax return, sign it, no numbers, don't even put a 0 at the bottom, no numbers, and mail it in. Congratulations, your tax return is officially done. Let's have a quick peek at the Rumble room, everybody. All righty. Fit Chick says, question, other than using your AI program that comes out January 1, if I'm expecting a huge refund over 17 years, would I need you to get them to look them over? 17 years of refunds from who? I need more information on that one. Sorry. Chop Liver. Hi, Kevin. I got fired for refusing the jab. Plan to move my family to Panama. I'll be in PTY this Thursday. Can we discuss real estate investments and strategies? Yeah. And if you're going to be at Decopolis Hotel, it's really cool. The rooms have got some really cool decor in them. It's kind of a psychedelic 70s vibe in a lot of the rooms. And Decopolis has the best continental breakfast in Panama City. So you picked a good hotel to be in. Also, Decopolis Hotel, just so you know, has a pool on, I believe, the 6th floor with a glass floor that looks down into the very same restaurant that has that amazing breakfast. Ready. M. Hendrickson, question. I've been filing zeros on my corporate taxes, but now I want to hire employees. How do I go about this? Hire employees, put them on contract, or hire employees and let me do the payroll for you and keep your mouth shut about everything else. It's probably better to let me do payroll because your employees will probably say stupid stuff to you like, I want to remit my taxes. Okay, fine. Let me do payroll. Get a hold of Randy right now. He's on the website waiting for you to do just that. CRF Mixer says, to change directors in Alberta, you mentioned it must be done at the registries. Are they going to demand that person be there and show ID, or is it as simple as the current director shareholder to do it? That's it. Correct. The second part there, the current shareholder just goes ahead and does it using the form, and you pay the fee of $25, maybe $30, and it's done. If you are the director of a corporation in Canada, everybody, remember that only hurts you. It does not help you. Get your bank accounts opened up and then remove yourself as director just as quickly as you possibly can. Having a look at more of your questions here. Mark, operating a business bank account, why do they ask for a social insurance number? The banks will ask for a social insurance number on a corporate bank account if you get a savings account where interest is earned. If it's just a standard checking account where you pay fees and don't get interest, they don't ask for a SIN number. Malona says they'll know about your taxes because you report HST to them. Malona, maybe you should just transfer the ownership of your corporation to me. I'll start you over in a brand new one and instruct you in a private consultation on how to never pay tax again. Archangel, did I see your comment? No, I must have missed that one. CRA wants $400,000 of your money. Personally or corporately? Let me know on that. They call me TK. Do we have to pay income tax in Ontario? How do I tell my employer if it's no? Well, nobody has to pay income tax, but your employer is probably a dumbass and a coward and reports everything to the CRA and puts all your earnings onto a T4 and submits that on your behalf. Ask your employer if you can go contract and write them invoices instead. Malona says, my company's at a loss every year. Well, that's good. So then put down your tax return, just at the bottom, put down negative $320,000 and send it in. And there's your number. Now, why spend a ton of money if your company is kind of in a mess losing money anyway? That's all you got to do. Keep it simple, as they say. Rio says, F the CRA. I second that motion. J Trade says, how do you avoid holding or withholding tax in non-registered investment account as a non-resident? Open a corporation and do all your investing through the numbered corporation, keeping your mouth closed completely over how much money that you make. It is that simple. All right, FitCheck question. 17 years of T4 and sole proprietorship returns. Do I need you to look them over before I get my large refund from CRA? I have $60,000 LOC personal debt. I need to wipe that out. Well, you're doing it the right way, FitCheck. I mean, do you want to pay me for my time to review your taxes for you? Or you want to go ahead and put them in with an affidavit? You can go ahead and do that with an affidavit, swearing that everything in there is absolutely true. By the way, does anyone know what's going on here? In Rumble, it says Instant Update has rated this stream. I don't know what that means. Looks official, not a clue. CSR 44, question. You said before you can get back RRF lift deductions. How to go about that when you don't do personal taxes, does your AI do that? Well, the AI will be set up to do just that. Yes. What I would do is get you into a sole proprietorship, which all of you know that I hate, but at least that way we can put down all the expenses that you would incur to wipe out any and all RRSP, GIC, or LIF or RIF or TFSA taxes that you would have paid in the year in which you cash them out. Yes, I'm single, whoever you are. Yes, not married, 5 years now. There you are. I don't know why that's important. Unless, of course, you're gorgeous and rich. Call me. If it's both. Oh, sorry. And human and female. All right, all that helps too. Mitch, I watch you every Tuesday. Love your stuff. Keep sending you emails about joining your referral program. Talk to Randy. He's there right now. Talk to him right now. He'll set you up right now. Get it done. Model Space Designs. As Canadian brokers will report your earnings to CRA, I've tried applying for a USA brokerage account, but refused because I don't have an address. Are there any ways around that? Yes. Yes, there is. Let me tell you exactly where you're going to go to solve that problem. Got a pen? Wyoming LLC attorney.com. Register a corporation for $95. Pay the $150 for the EIN number. Pay them the $350 to use their address for the entire year. Less than $550 US, and you're done. You're taken care of. Yes. And that is Wyoming LLC attorney.com. I don't get a commission for those guys because they said that they're only charging $95 for a corporation. So they wouldn't be able to give me much. I said, yeah, but I'm kind of in a selfish and greedy phase of life. I'll take $5. And they said, well, it would cost more money to set up a $5 commission than I would get. So they said, no, but that's okay. I still like them. So Tasty THC says, that's why I messaged you to see if I'm real. Satisfied? All right. Yeah, Tasty THC, stop saying that you're a landlord. Stop telling people what you got. No one's business. Can the CRA freeze your bank account stating there's a court order but no proof? They don't ever get court orders to shut down your bank account. The banks lie. When the banks say we got a court order, they are lying to you. They don't. They just have a requirement to pay letter, which is why the banks never show it to you. And because they're not a government agency, they don't have to reply to a Freedom of Information Act form. If the CRA sends you a threat, move your money out of the bank immediately. That's how you do it. Checking more questions here. Yes, I can help you get a corporation registered down here in Panama, everybody. The way that we would do it here in Panama, it's actually quite easy to do. My lawyer registers the corporation. You've got to have 3 members of the board of directors here to register a corporation in Panama. When the 3 members are assigned, it's my lawyer, his secretary, and his assistant. Then they go and they open a bank account for you, usually at 2 different banks. Then you come down to Panama, or I act as your agent here, and they transfer the ownership of the corporation and the bank accounts to you. 5,000 US, it's done. Now you can move as much money as you want into Panama. Daniel, if I sell my company to you, do I need to be fully up to date on filing? No, don't you dare file your taxes if you're selling me your corporation. Absolutely not. The more of a mess that it is, the more I want to buy it from you. Do not do your taxes. That's my job. All right. The answer is yes, sell it to me. No, you don't do taxes. Yes, I take care of that after I buy the corporation. Is there a way to withdraw lira early without penalties and taxes? Yes and no. No, because the cowards who are holding it will always tax you. But yes, because I'm going to get you back every single penny in the following tax year. That's just how that works. Alrighty. Ryko says, hey, Kevin, great info. I'm planning on moving out of Canada. Should I sell or shut down my corporations and open a new one elsewhere? Well, look at it this way, everybody. You don't have to make any particular grandiose statements of, I'm leaving the country, because the Canadian government says to you, when you leave, you have to break all your ties to Canada. No, you don't. No, you don't. The charter says you don't. You don't. Just open up a numbered corporation in Ontario, put your money into the numbered corporation, remove yourself as the director, and then once a year at tax time, you send in a null tax return to the CRA, and your corporation will remain open. You've always got access to that bank account. Everything's going to be fine. There you are. But if you're going to live somewhere permanently, you want bank accounts and you want corporations in that country. That makes sense. Alrighty. Barb, can you repeat what you said about RRSPs? Yes, RRSPs are typically held by banks, or I guess we call them fund managers in Canada, losers, cowards. And these cowards will always do your deductions and give them to the CRA. And they'll say this to you, which is a lie. We have to do it. No, you don't. It's all choice. Nobody has to do anything. Nobody. You don't have to. They say they do. It's a lie. So you get your RSPs done, and I wipe out the RRSP tax bill in the following tax year. If you want me to get that done for you, you got to make sure you're contacting me about a month or two prior to you taking out all the money in your RRSP so I can completely wipe it out properly. So Daniel, again, just sell me your company exactly as it is. Do not do your taxes. Let me do those taxes, period. What about your personal debt from previous filings? Oh, man. If I could buy personal tax debt, holy crap, CRA would be out of business already. I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm a clever guy, and you know that I will. You know I read case law all the time. I will figure this out. It's a promise. All right. No, I'm not gay. To the guy who emailed me that, whoever you are, no. Hetero. Don't know why that matters. Next. But if you are gay, remember what Jerry Seinfeld said? Not that there's anything wrong with that. People ask weird questions. And for the guy who said the F word like 5 times there in my email, I blocked your email. You go away, man. We don't need you people here. All right. Kevin, I'm inheriting a house shared with my brother and some money. What would you do if you're in my situation? How well do you get along with your brothers? That's question number 1. Are any of your brothers planning on putting the property into probate? If that's going to be the case, then you have to find a way to convince these guys not to do it. All right. So when somebody dies, I talked earlier about keeping your personal business personal. When someone in the family dies, what does everybody do? They all go out of their way to jump on a Facebook. Dad died. My mom died. Everybody out there is looking for sympathy. Don't do that. Some things should be private, don't you think? When someone dies, the CRA should be the last people that you ever talk to. I usually will report something on behalf of a client who's passed away 3 years after death. You're under no obligation to tell the CRA this person died. Let them figure it out for themselves. So keep your mouth closed, drain the bank accounts. If the credit cards still have space on them, spend them. Get the stocks and the bonds and the life insurance, get everything moved to your name, cash it all out, get the house moved into a numbered corporation, make sure everything's done. Everything. And then, after the funeral's said and done, shut up. Just be quiet about it. Mourn in your own way. That's your time to mourn. Mourn. You should do that. It's what sets us apart from the animals, kind of. But don't tell the CRA about it. It's none of their business. And when the CRA starts sending letters off about somebody who's passed away, then what you can do is send the CRA a letter saying, oh, John died 3.5 years ago. Send them a copy of the death certificate and tell them that all of his records were shredded. We have nothing that we can help you with. Goodbye. And that'll be it. What's a better option, corporation in Ontario or a Canadian federal one? I think Canadian's cheaper to register. Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, $40 cheaper. Get one in Ontario because that way you can do quite well writing off HST as opposed to just GST with the federal. And besides, Ontario is such a disorganized mess that you can essentially do what you want there in reference to your corporation, and nobody will be any the wiser. What steps are required to reopen a frozen bank account? Number one, we got to call the CRA and let them know that we're prepared to make a deal. We're going to lie. Hi, we're ready to make a deal. We're so sorry we didn't pay our tax. We'd like to start paying $2,000 a month starting to the first day of 2 months from now, but I need my bank account unlocked. They'll do it, clean out your bank account completely, open up a numbered corporation, get a new bank account, put the money there, remove yourself as director, then we just redo your taxes. That's how we do it. Because the banks will always say, we have to get a letter from the CRA to open everything up. You could sue the bank, $10 million for tort theft. You could do that. You'd be amazed how quickly they unlock the bank accounts then. All kinds of ways to get these things to happen. Best way to switch property from personal to corporate. Here's a great one. This is you on title of your property. This is your numbered corporation. You very quietly just add it. 30 days later, remove you. Thanks for the hat. Appreciate that. That's what you do. That is the easiest way. Thank you. See, I appreciate that too. That's the easiest way to get this done is add the corp, remove you. And the province doesn't like it because they don't get their land transfer tax. But we are not here to make the province of, well, any province happy. We're here to say, whatever this means, and we're going to keep our money and we're not going to cooperate with you. Again, the right to remain silent. Exercise that right. My husband's a sole proprietorship since 2008. He pays HST quarterly, but doesn't even sell $30,000 worth. Number one, don't ever do quarterly GST returns. Why would you do that? When you're doing anything quarterly with the government, you're setting yourself up for failure. Do you know why? Because as soon as you submit your quarterly statement, about a week later, you start thinking, oh, I got to do my next quarterly statement. You're not focused on doing your job. You're not focused on marketing. You're focused on the stupid returns. You do GST annually. Even if you make more than $1 million a year, you still do it annually. They'll say, well, we're setting you to quarterly. No, you're not. You send over a legal document stating that we do not have the staff, nor manpower, nor even desire to switch to quarterly. And there's no law that says we have to do this. There's only CRA policy. I don't work for the CRA. Never do quarterly. Call the HST office and tell them you're switching to annual because you make less than 50 grand a year. That's what you tell them, and they'll do it. Dean, I'm a dairy farmer. Got a call from the CRA today regarding HST return. Pretty much implied that I don't farm. Well, if I'm your tax guy, I'll add every single expense that you possibly could have. Electricity to run the cow milkers, whatever those things are called. Farm fuel for your tractors, maintenance of your tractors, the property tax you have, every nail, every screw, every board. This is where it gets really cool, everybody. You could have a second numbered corporation and write invoices from the second corporation to the first corporation. Let's say you want to build a barn as a farmer. I don't know what a barn would cost, but let's go into the assumption it's $150K to build a small one because there's no basement being dug out. There's no central air or any of that nonsense, okay? So you build the barn. What you do, though, is you have another numbered corporation that charges you $6 million to build the barn. Now you get a $6 million write-off. Congratulations. Well done. Look at that. And the $6 million corporation, which will have tax on it, can then do what? Can then be sold to me. You don't pay tax. So it doesn't matter at that point how much money you've made. You know, you bought a barn or you built one. You're allowed to build a very expensive barn if you wish. No problem. As a Canadian, can I just move to Panama? Sure, I did. When you get to Panama, you can apply for the Friendly Nations visa. You'll get a 2-year temporary residency card. Pensionado, as long as you've got $1,000 US a month coming in the door in the way of a pension, no problem. There's a digital nomad visa. That's another 2-year permanent one. 2-year temporary residency. Sure. And if you came down to Panama, you get 6 months to stay on the passport stamp. Go to Costa Rica for a day, fly back in, 6 more months. You could do that 3 or 4 times. If you accidentally overstay, you've got to pay a fine to the immigration office of $50 per month that you overstayed before you go to the airport. And when you pay that ticket, it doesn't hurt you in any way, just so you know. You just give them the $50 per month. So let's say you got down here and you got married to some chick and you stayed 12 years. You're thinking, oh, geez, you know what? I want to fly to Canada. So that's 12 years times 12 months. That's 144 times 50. That would be your penalty to leave the country. You go pay it, you get a sticker, you take the sticker to the airport, and you fly away. There is no problem. Panama loves gringos. If you speak English and you have money, you can do whatever you want here. It's fantastic. Of course, as long as you don't break Panamanian law. But there's a lot of freedoms afforded to gringos. And there's a lot of folks, Panamanians are kind of iffy and afraid of their slums. And they're blown away at the fact that I walk through Panamanian slums alone at night. Well, because I'm a gringo. And everyone in Panama knows if you touch a gringo, you go bye-bye for 10 years. 10 years for robbing a gringo. They don't rob gringos here. I've been in the country like a year and a half. No one has given me a difficult time at all. Nobody. I've seen one fist fight. It was like a couple teenagers fighting in the street about something stupid. It wasn't against me. It's just 2 kids fighting. That's all I've seen in the way of violence. I have not seen anybody break into a car. I've not seen anybody get shot or stabbed or thrown off of a roof. There's just none of that stuff is going on here. Great place to be. Absolutely fantastic. Randy, could you throw it in the private chat for me? There's some folks asking me if there's any half-hour and 1-hour times available. I can't see. Can you just let me know if there are? And if so, what dates those are available? I do appreciate that. Let's head back over to the Rumble room here. Okay, so X416. I overcontributed. Question here. So I overcontributed to my TFSA and now owe CRA over $600 in penalties. I've withdrawn the excess but haven't made any payments yet. What should I do next? We do your taxes with a capital loss attached to it. And that's all that it takes to get rid of that stupid debt. That is it. All right. Then please confirm TFSA question, followed by next question. What's the best way to off-ramp crypto such as USDC to fiat Canadian? Well, as of yesterday, everybody, I buy crypto now. I just wire cash to you. If it's smaller amounts, we email it to you. If you've got a bank account here in Panama, I just simply go over to the bank and deposit in your bank account for you. That's one thing you can do. There's also some pretty serious crypto purchasers down here that I know personally. So that is certainly a way to cash out on crypto. The other way is to have a crypto.com account and move your Bitcoin or your Ethereum onto the crypto.com Visa card and just spend that like it's cash. All strong. Randy's waiting for you. Go to the website right now and tell him what you need. He'll get back to you right now. Moment forever. Question. If I have a mortgage in my personal name, how do I transfer the property to a corporation without the bank knowing it and activating due to the sale clause? Well, first off, you're not selling the property. What I said earlier, you're the owner. You add the numbered corp, you remove yourself. That's all you have to do because the mortgage is against the property, not your name. Moment Forever says also, another question for a PREC, Personal Real Estate Corporation, is the realtor permitted to remove himself as a director and put someone else's name in? No, you should never have a PREC, a Personal Real Estate Corporation, ever. Those things are junk. Have a regular corporation where you just do business any which way that you want and remove yourself as a director whenever you want. PRECs are stupid. They're just one step above sole proprietorship. Not a good thing. Let me check Instagram's questions here. Daniel, how do you remove yourself as director from a corporation and who do you make it to? Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronald Reagan, Bruce Willis, Demi Moore, Elmer Fudd, Foghorn Leghorn Jr. What's some of the cartoons from the 80s? Oh yeah, Grandizer, Voltron, Grandizer Smith. It doesn't matter who the director is, everybody. It just matters that you're not the director because the CRA chases the director in the case of GST or payroll owing. They will not let that go. So you got to make sure you're not the director by selling me the corporation. When we get you a new corporation, we open up a bank account or you open one up and then we remove you as the director. And Reiko's adding to it. So yeah, you know what? Mighty Mouse. I remember that. God, I hated that cartoon. Oh, that was one of those. Yeah, anyway. Or Ren and Stimpy. Or Ren, Stimpy, Smythe. Pick a name. It doesn't matter. The JB. I got your voicemail a few weeks ago, but I couldn't call back the number. I want an update on the filings. I'm not sure which number I would have called you from, but feel free. If there's something you need to know, Randy's standing by. He'll answer your questions right now. Okay. Explain when CRA puts a lien on your home to remove it in the process. All right. That's a good question. The CRA will go after the home if you don't reply to absolutely anything that they say or do. All right. But if they don't do liens, what they do is they go to tax court and ask the judge to give them a writ of execution against you, which can be beaten in any court in the country because tax court does not have jurisdiction over equity. So when they do that, you sue the CRA, $10 million, tort fraud. Then we simply file a motion in provincial superior court to have the lien removed. Then we just redo your taxes. That's all. We redo your taxes at zero and all that nonsense goes away. Do they ask to see receipts for all the write-offs? Sure. Once in a while they do. Clause 167 and Clause 231.1 of the Income Tax Act. Without an active investigation going on, they can't even ask for that. So we send over a non-compliance letter and politely say no. There you are. It's actually more a matter of politely saying F you, but it still appears to be a polite no. You do not comply. Don't show anybody your receipts, ever. The CRA is not going to get a court order to make you show the receipts because that doesn't make them money. So R. Malenk, if you've filled out the form, Randy's going to get back to you tonight. All right, let's get back over here. You do not have to cooperate with auditors, ever. It's never in your best interest to cooperate with an auditor. If auditors come to your house, they flash a card that says, I have the right to check your books. And you tell them, yes, and you've got the right to get off my property in 15 seconds flat before I sick the dog on you. Call 911, tell the cops you've got someone trying to break into your property. Take pictures, put the video camera right in their face, get their license plate number down. Escort them off the property if you have to. It's your property. You're allowed to get rid of them. Sometimes what they'll do after you kick them off the property is they go and get a couple of cops and they'll say, see, I got police with me. You tell the cops, hey, pig 1 and pig 2. You ain't got no warrant. Get this piece of scum off my property now. Do your goddamn job and get this scumbag off my land. That's how you deal with it. You think because a cop is standing on your porch, you have to even open the door? You don't have to answer the door. If the cop if any cops are ringing your doorbell, don't answer the door to the cops. How is that going to make your life better? They're going to start asking a bunch of questions and try to intimidate you, stick their foot in the door so that you can't close the door. Because what they'll do is if you close the door on their foot, they'll throw themselves down on the ground and cry like a bitch. And when they do that, they charge you for assaulting a police officer. Just don't answer the door. Canadian cops are absolutely worthless individuals. They're not what they once were back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. They don't solve crimes. They don't stop crime anymore. They actually commit them. So you don't have to cooperate with any of them. Without a warrant, you don't come in the house. And the CRA doesn't get warrants. They're not cops. All right. So, Gus, I've already answered the question. Malone says, I need you for real estate planning. Yeah, we do a lot of that here. We do a lot of real estate planning here. Nitro, I use Coinbase to sell my crypto for cash. Do I need to report my crypto to the CRA? No. Shut up about that. That's line 12,700 on the tax return. Just leave it blank. Move on. Where can I get a template for corporate bylaws to structure inheritance like a will? Well, I mean, hilarious Eli. I haven't given a template away yet. Eventually. But I'll type them up for you because everyone's bylaws need to be different based on the number of people that you're possibly going to be sharing a property with. That's how we have to look at that. When do you remove yourself as director? As soon as you've got corporate bank accounts opened up, you have to be the director to open them up. As soon as that's done, remove yourself as director. That's all you got to do. Do you go and remove directors through web portals? Yes. Alberta is the only place you can't. You got to go to the registry to do it, which is fine. The Alberta registries, surprisingly, are pretty efficient places. Yeah, I hate to admit it, but it's true. How do you get a hold of Randy on my website? Go to my website right now. Hit the contact us button. Fill out the form. Tell him you're watching the show live right now in the subject line. He'll get back to you tonight. Niagara Wow Tours. You sent me a video request. So Niagara Wow Tours, did you have a specific question that you wanted to ask? Oh, by the way, for those who, if you're sending me messages, don't say call me with a phone number. You really think I'm just going to call you because you say call me? Like, come on, man. This is not, you're not picking up guys or chicks in a bar here. Yeah, you got to give me some context. What's going on? The other thing is, it may not be the best use of your money to book a consultation with me and then act like I'm your bartender telling me stories about daddy not taking you to the circus and so on. That's kind of strange, don't you think? You should be contacting me and booking consultations with me to help you either make money or keep the money that you have. I'd rather not be your bartender. I'm not a psychologist. I've studied psychology, but I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't want to be your therapist. I want to be your moneymaker. There we go. All right, next question here. We're just checking all your questions. All right, Minnie says, in process of a possible solar farm on my property, corporate or keep it personal? Corporate! Corporate. Nobody in Canada should have a property in their own name. Everything should be corporate. Everything. When it's corporate, you got write-offs. When it's corporate and you've got debt, you can offload the debt to me. Sell it to me. No problem. Reiko, silly question. Are you able to go back and redo corporate taxes to get the monies you paid in previous years? Yes, but the CRA right now is not looking at tax returns from 2022 backwards until next year sometime. That's a new thing that they've announced to us. But yes, we can do that. On paper, you'll get the money. It just depends on how quickly they get to it. All right, so I'm getting a little bit tired of this. Randy is standing by right now. So if any of you want a response right now, follow my instructions, go to my website right now. In the subject line, state that you're watching the show live right now and let Randy know you'd like us to contact you. He will contact you. How many times I got to say the same thing? Come on, we're adults here. And for those who are curious, it is currently 10:26 p.m. Eastern Time on the 16th of September of 2025. There you go. If I open a corporation and put my house in it, do I have to pay property tax? Yes, because properties are registered to the municipality and the province. The province enlists municipalities to collect taxes. Yes, but nobody can take it from you because nobody can sue a corporation that doesn't do business. Make sure you designate it as a holding company and everything is going to be fine. How does a transfer happen without having to pay property tax or property transfer tax? The way I told you, you could do this, ladies and gentlemen, title. It's all just paperwork. You could add 40 people to title and then later on remove you from title. You're not selling the house. You're just changing the title, which is completely legal. Okay. And for those who are wondering, yes, I am aware of some weird accountant. I don't know his name. I saw the video. Some beta cuck 40-year-old virgin guy was saying that I'm wrong, that you do have to pay capital gains. And he says, see, and what he does is he shows the only case ever in Canadian history where somebody was charged criminally for not reporting a capital gain. There's only one. It's from 2006, something. It's like way back when. That's how that particular accountant is trying to gain business, by frightening you the same way the CRA does. One time someone got charged in Canada in the entire history of the country for not reporting a capital gain. I think the odds are pretty good you're not getting charged. That guy's a loser. I forget his name, and I'm not going to tell you, even if I knew it, as we don't want to draw attention to losers. Where in Panama do you recommend to live? If you like resorts, Playa Blanca or Bocas del Toro, possibly San Blas. I like resorts for a day, maybe two. I can't live in a resort. If you're looking to be around lots of gringos, Coronado, big 14 to 15 kilometer long beach. Lots of places to eat. I don't want to be around a beach town, though, beyond the occasional weekend. I love being in Panama City. Panama City is remarkable. It's extremely walkable, and you've got a combination of everything. You've got slums, you've got exceptionally brand new, you got better shopping malls than you'll ever find in Toronto or anywhere else for that matter in Canada. You've got a better subway system than Toronto, which is 35 cents to ride it. The bus system here is remarkable. It's 25 cents to ride it. You know, like I paid, ready for this, everyone? I paid $2.25 for a 5-kilometer Uber ride today. And you can negotiate with cab drivers. What you do is you show the cab driver the Uber price and you say, amigo, downtown Soho Plaza, $5. And they always say, yes. The cabs here negotiate in advance. They will match Uber's price. This place is amazing. I bought chicken today. I bought a chicken. It's a 4.5-pound chicken. It's $1.98. Yes. Tomorrow morning, I've got a lovely lady coming into my condo who's going to roast it for me. Yeah, she's going to cook all the parsnips and the carrots and all the veggies and the potatoes and the spices, and she's going to roast the whole thing for me, and then she's going to cut it all up for me, and I pay her $10 to prep my meals for me. It's awesome. If you have any health issues and you'd like to hire a private nurse to watch over you, it's anywhere between $40 a night and $100 a night, in that range. So you can have a nurse to just sit beside you all night for that amount of money. Healthcare in Panama is remarkable. Of course, the best healthcare is in the big city. So come on down. Best advice for a sole proprietor electrical contractor. Yeah, let me do your taxes. I'll put you down at a huge loss and then get you into a numbered corporation where you can have losses for the rest of your life. Keep all your money. Here's a good one in my email. Why are Canadian accountants such cowards? Well, where do I start? God, man. I mean, I could do a history lesson all the way back to the ancient history of 1948, but I think we all know beta cuckery is a huge thing. Men are more interested in video games and nothingness than they are the gym and success. The radical feminists are browbeating absolutely everybody out there, and people are listening to them for some reason. So you've got beta cuck loser males running accounting companies, and they're afraid of everything. They're afraid of offending people, which I'm not. I love doing that. In fact, they are afraid of backlash after offending someone, which I'm not. I adore that stuff. And they're afraid of the CRA, which I'm not, because I know for a fact the CRA has no power to do anything. I've taken $200 million away from the CRA in the last 2 years. They've done nothing. Nothing. In writing, I tell auditors, you're my little bitch. Go get me a sandwich. Go get my slippers. Yeah. Come wipe me when I'm done on the can. I tell them this stuff. I even told one of them, you get all your meals free at a Thomas Crapper's invention. That's the toilet. So you get where I'm going with this. I tell these people this stuff all the time. They've done nothing. If I can do this stuff, so can you. So why are they cowards? Because men are no longer men in Canada. They're weak, lost children. Children. You know, they're playing with action figures in their 40s. They're living with mommy and daddy in their 40s. And God, they're afraid of everything. And the CRA does from time to time say stupid stuff like, we'll take your license. They have no authority to take your license from you. What are these accountants talking about? Losers. All of them. Losers. That's part of the reason. There's more to it than that, but there we go. You should your husband, so Wheezy is asking, should my husband make his sole proprietorship into a corporation and you'll file HST annually? Yeah. First off, you don't turn a sole proprietorship into a corporation. You simply discontinue the sole proprietorship. We send a legal letter into the CRA stating that the sole proprietorship ceases to exist as of this date, and we get the corporation opened up, and you then begin doing business under the corporation, keeping everything that you make for the rest of your days. Can I recommend the best online source to start a numbered corporation in Ontario without a SIN number? Me, right here, me. Talk to Randy on my website right now. He'll get you the information. Walk you through the correct order. The correct order is, everybody, we open a numbered corporation for you. You, depending on the province, we can call this the GST office and get you the number, which is pretty much only Ontario now. So you got to jump on the phone and get yourself a GST number. Then you go to the bank, open a bank account, then go to a second bank, hopefully a provincially chartered credit union, open a second bank account, and then we remove you as director. Congratulations, the CRA knows nothing about you, and you can do whatever you want through that numbered corporation's bank account. Yee-haw. Rayco says, you mentioned to purchase crypto from a corporation. Is there any specific designation the corp would be categorized in? Yeah, maybe investment or consultation. Either one of those is fine. Why do I not like the sole proprietorship? Because when you screw up and get yourself into heavy debt, I can't buy it from you. You can't alleviate yourself of the debt because a sole proprietorship is connected directly to your social insurance number. A corporation, completely separate entity from yourself. You can sink it into $25 million of debt and then sell it to me, and they can never chase you for it. They have to chase me. And the CRA doesn't like me and doesn't chase me. There we go. I provided receipts and invoices for an HST audit, and the CRA still denied them. Your mistake was allowing the audit to take place in the first place. Get on the phone with them saying, like, hey, mother effer, who the hell do you think you are? Who's paying me for my time to do this audit? We're not doing no audit. Nah. Let them have it. It's unfortunate. Okay, what do we got here? Malona. Wife was asked for expenses. Receipt cannot produce a T2200. They reassessed. Now she owes $5K. Object. Use the objection form and object, stating that they've done this under false pretenses. There's a potential fraud there, and submit that immediately. Okay. Just checking more of your questions here. Steve says, my daughter has a status card. What kind of company should she open? Sole proprietorship or limited? Well, if you're a status Indian, you don't pay tax anyway. But in case the status Indian in question gets sued, you still want to make sure that you've got yourself a corporation, so you're always protected. Always. But tell her to use the status card every chance she gets. Maybe what she should do is also tell her friends, hey, you want to buy a car? Let's buy a car. I got a status card. You ain't paying no tax. And then she can split the tax bill with her friend. So if the friend was going to spend 13% on a brand new car in Ontario, the friend can pay your daughter, $6,500. Instead, she makes some money with her status card. Maybe one day the government will call and say, hey, why do you own 140 cars? Oh, I live on the reserve, and they've all been turned into houses. Could say something along those lines. I've spent a lot of time on reserves. You'd be amazed how often cars are turned into pretty cool sleeping nooks. All right, Realm 121 says, I think you mentioned the cost was $2,400. Will you set up the director's names? Okay, so for us to get a corporation registered for you, it's $19.50 Canadian. Without corporate bylaws, $29.50 if I have to write the legal bylaws for you. There you go. That's pretty much it. What about the owner of the company versus director when the corporation is set up? Beautiful question. So, dude, when you open up a corporation in Canada, obviously someone has to own it. The director is not the owner. Everyone thinks the director is the owner. The director may as well be called janitor or sucker, right? The shareholders are the ones who own it. That's when I write your corporate bylaws, all right? In there, I write down the entire ownership structure, how many shares there are and who owns the shares and what everyone's responsibilities are. So, and you swear that in, by the way. So your corporate bylaws will double as your shareholders agreement. That's how we do that. The director will be Elmer Fudd when we're done, because the director is not the owner. And if your corporate bylaws say that the director is a ceremonial title and has no voting power, then that's the rules of the corporation in its entirety. Wayne, is there a way around luxury tax on new cars? You buy them through an American corporation, now that I think about that. You could open up a Wyoming-based corporation, make the statement that it's kind of like a diplomatic corporation, and then have the invoice written to the American corporation. There wouldn't be any tax on that. That's one way it could work, but you might want to make a phone call to the dealership in advance and just lie and say that you are an American citizen doing business in Canada. You'd like to register the vehicle to the American corporation and see what they say about the luxury tax. Mark, once a family member passes away, any tax advantages to have them buried on the property? Yeah, there is partial truth to if you bury somebody on your property, that it becomes consecrated ground and you can't be taxed. Good luck getting any judge to side with you on that one. In fact, what they might tell you is they're going to issue a fine for improper disposal of a body. So let's not play that game. Property tax is the only one you got to pay. If I get you into a position where you're never again paying income tax or corporate tax again, then your income, so your property tax between, let's say, $2,000 and $10,000 a year is minuscule in comparison to what you'd be losing on the federal side. So I wouldn't play that game, please. Chantel, I don't think I saw your question. So if you want to go ahead and re-ask it, I'll check that for you. Oh, you're in Quebec. And okay, so question here. I'm in Quebec and I owe Quebec taxes. What do I do? We register you an Ontario corporation. You go to Cornwall, Ontario. You get yourself an Ontario driver's license. You pay me the fee to use my residential address. Yes, I bought a house in Ontario, which is a junker. I wouldn't live in it. It sucks. But it's there specifically so that Quebecois can have themselves an Ontario address. Then we open up an Ontario corporation with Ontario bank accounts. Once you become an Ontario resident, you can live in Quebec, but you're an Ontario resident, no Revenu Quebec. I hate those guys. God, I hate those guys. Everybody who's watching right now who knows my website address, could you please put it in the chat? Because I'm getting people asking me what my website is. Can I declare my crypto capital gain? Well, you can declare any crypto capital gain that you want. Don't do that. You're not obligated to tell them anything about your capital gains. If JR20, if you have crypto, shut up about it. It's yours. Keep it silent, please. Would you be able to help with crypto and a corporation? I live in Canada. Well, yeah, Sylvia. I mean, I would need to know what help you want with crypto. But if you'd like me to do tax services and registration services for you, you can pay me in crypto and get a 10% discount because I prefer crypto over Canadian dollars. In fact, I almost prefer French fries over Canadian dollars. Almost. That's how little I value Canadian dollars. But you'll be happy to know I do not charge USD for services. Any Canadian that hires me to do any work for them inside of Canada, it's all Canadian dollars. I don't play that stupid, I'm an international company, so you have to pay me US dollars. I tell everyone the same thing. If I'm a Canadian citizen and you're a Canadian citizen and we're inside of the borders of Canada, the chances that I'm going to pay you US dollars are exactly zero. I don't play games like that. Those are vulgar, crass games to play. What's the best thing to do with CRA? Sorry, what's the best thing to do when CRA files for you? Oh, object. You tell the CRA you never authorized that. Let them know you're charging them with fraud. Tell them you need 120 days to get your taxes done, and then get your taxes done. That's how you do it. Use the objection form and threaten them. Don't bluff. Robin says, I wish I'd known you when my corporation had problem with the CRA because I ended up claiming bankruptcy. Corporate bankruptcy is not really a thing in Canada. Let me tell you, oh man. Okay. This is something to consider. It's a very serious problem. Because if your corporation has a great deal of debt, if you are the director at the time, you can't go bankrupt. Because the CRA will demand that the trustee take your corporate GST debt and your corporate payroll debt and move it to your personal name. And even then, the bankruptcy is still not going to go through, not properly. It's a sneaky, dirty game they play. The solution, you sell me your corporation and let me take over all of your debt. Corporate bankruptcy is not a thing in Canada. It does not work. And everyone that we know who's ever tried it has spent more than $50,000 in legal fees to get it done, and they're still in debt. What's the point? Alrighty. How can I delay the CRA from coming after me so I can refile my taxes? Make a phone call. Hi, I just got finished my chemotherapy treatments. I understand that you want me to get my taxes done. I'm going to get a lawyer if you don't mind. I need 120 days to get my taxes done. Can I have that, please? You'd be amazed at how often they say yes to that. And then we get them done for you. All right. Yeah, never do a consumer proposal. Those things are BS. Your credit score is still destroyed and you still owe the money. They're pointless. They don't work. They don't protect you. They don't save you in any way. Highly unfortunate that it's like that, but it's like that. Question. Opening up a corporation and owning real estate here in Panama. Panama is awesome in that once you sign a deed and take the land over, nobody can take it from you, not even the government. So somebody in Panama cannot sue you and then take your house from you or take your condo from you. It doesn't work like that at all, period. So to own property in Panama is a great thing. It's going to be protected until the day you die. And then it just goes to your next of kin. Is it possible to write off investment losses? Sure it is. And healthcare expenses and special dietary concerns, the whole 9 yards. I've told this story many times, so I'm going to tell it again for you. We have an OnlyFans model, not going to say who, but she got breast implants. We were able to write off the flight, the hotel, the surgery itself, the care that came afterwards, those little drainage plugs they have to put in there, the removal of the drainage plugs, the antibiotics, all that stuff, everything. Because I own the medical company down here, she ended up getting a $40,000, ready for this, marketing write-off. Because, and this is me scolding the men now, because there's a lot of beta males out there who think that if they give a chick on OnlyFans $50, that all of a sudden you're going to magically have a girlfriend. It's a really weird way to think. That's not how it works. She just takes your money and laughs at you, everyone. But because she now has bigger things, she'll probably get more attention and she'll make more money. Marketing. You can turn surgery into a marketing expense. If I'm your tax guy. No one else is brave enough to do these things. I am. So you can write off anything at all. Toothpaste. I can write off toothpaste. Why? Because if I don't have a clean smile, I potentially don't make as much money, right? So I got to get these pearly whites looking pearly white. What do? I buy toothpaste and I write that off. Marketing expenses. I charge myself because I'm schizophrenic and so am I. I charge, when I trim this lovely beard down, I charge myself $1,000 for grooming, which is part of my marketing expenses. Yeah. Yes. You are allowed to identify as schizophrenic and invoice yourself for your own grooming time. Yes. You can do this stuff. Good luck getting an accountant or a tax lawyer to tell you that you can legally do this stuff, but you can legally do this stuff. Remember, in Canada, you can identify as a unicorn pig ape combination who's female on Thursdays only. I can identify as 12 people and all of my personalities can invoice each other. Legal. It's all legal. I didn't write those laws. They did. I just know them. Don't be afraid to write things off. Don't be afraid to invoice yourself, and don't be afraid to hit yourself in the head with a frying pan so you have multiple personalities that can invoice each other. There you go. Does the CRA have to notify you that you owe money by mail? Yes, they're legally obligated to inform you, but in some cases, the CRA doesn't have your most recent phone number or address. So if they can just make the statement that they tried to reach you, then they will try to get your money out of the bank or do whatever else that they do. But if you know you've got tax trouble, make sure your bank accounts are empty. Numbered corporation, we'll register that for you. Get numbered corporation bank accounts, put your money there. You're safe from the CRA. How do we get away with capital gains? Just exercise your right to remain silent. Shut up. That's how. Shut up. Yeah. Watch here. All right. I just sold a house today. And see, shut up. Works, doesn't it? I didn't really sell a house today, but just imagine that you did. Close your mouth. Stop talking about it. Don't brag about it on social media. Don't brag about it to your friends. Don't put it on your tax return. You don't have to. Everything you put on a tax return is voluntary. So you can voluntarily shut the F up is what you can do. You can voluntarily get to line 12,700. Whoop! Drop my pen. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. Absolutely allowed to do these things. Fear paralyzes you. All of you need to stop being afraid of paperwork. It's just paper. Alrighty. Oh, Rumble just exploded here. What do we got? Fit Chick, question. My friend's buying her first home. I told her about your channel. How would you help her avoid paying so much tax? She wants her GST back. Well, her GST back from what? Fit Chick, I need some more information on that. Also, Fit Chick says, question. If I need to get exosomes, medical expenses due to MVA car accident, not your fault, and in Canada, it would cost about $15,000 approximately. What would your medical company charge for it? Ooh, I would need your entire medical file. And then I would have to decide which of the medical clinics and or hospitals I would send you to down here. There's some good ones down here. And I think I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that one of my clients got a mammogram and a blood test and a, what do you call this, ultrasound done. She was concerned about breast cancer. And it turns out she doesn't have it. But the scans, the whole thing, she was out in 30 minutes and it cost $85. $85. That's it. Brand new facility, brand new equipment, completely clean environment, nice couches, not just hard plastic Canadian chairs, couches with ottomans. You take your shoes off, you put your feet up, you can watch the soccer game on the TV, free Wi-Fi, good coffee, really good coffee, all that stuff. So I'd have to find out more information. There we go. If you're a first-time home buyer, everybody, you don't pay GST on the house unless the house is a brand new build. And there's ways around that. And we are instructing developers on how to wipe out that BS GST bill on brand new builds. Tribby says, hey, it's Chantel. I'm using my husband's account. I keep getting kicked off your lives. Are we able to jump on a call after the show? Okay. Chantal, Randy's standing by on the website. Shoot your phone number over. Right? Yeah, I know who you are. Excellent. Somebody said that's dirty. I'm not too sure what you're referring to. Just looking at more of your questions here. Sorry, folks, if I don't fully understand the question, and I know you only get 2 sentences, I got to skip past it. So if your house is in a numbered corporation and you file personal bankruptcy, the property is not involved. Correct. Absolutely correct. So long as you keep your friggin' mouth shut, you're fine. Okay. I use Wealth Simple and FinTrack reports your crypto. So what should I do now? Why are you dealing with a Canadian company? I just stop. Canadian companies suck. Stop dealing with them. Binance, Crypto.com, Trust Wallet, Kraken, Cold Storage Wallet, whatever you want. Just keep it the freaking hell away from Wealth Simple. Idiots, those guys. Absolute idiots. I can't stand them. Sold by Paul with a trademark, never mind. TM logo. All right. Toronto Dominion Bank converted my business line without my knowledge into a loan, and I stopped paying them. You could sue them for that, for breach of contract. You could. They'll be able to get it tossed out on vexatious, but at least you're going to make a point. And if they decide that they want to sting your credit score, That's actually something you can tell the judge to make sure they don't do. That part you will win. Can someone tell me where the like button is? That's a great question, everybody. And hey, we're doing okay on TikTok. 34,100 likes. Everyone, right now, 2 fingers. Just keep tapping on the screen. Get those hearts right there flying up the side. Let's get to 60,000 likes. Everyone, start liking. Hey, Instagram, you too. Come on, get those fingers going. Like. Let's get them rocking, because the algorithm picks up on all the likes and spreads it out to everybody else. We need Canadians to stop paying tax. And I'm the only one out there telling you the absolute truth about tax. So let's get that out there. Rayco, sorry, I missed when you mentioned how much you charge to set up a corporation in another country. Well, down here in Panama, 5,000 US flat, corporation, bank account opened, all the transfer fees, everything's done. Just like that. And there's no tax on that, by the way. It's just 5K US flat. Alrighty. So I'm looking at purchasing a property in Costa Rica. Are you able to help me with the closing? Don't buy property in Costa Rica. Costa Rica is on its way down. The expats are all leaving Costa Rica now because Costa Rica is way too expensive. I lived there for 5 months. Every single day I got irritated beyond belief because the cost of living is absolutely, 2 words, insane. If you live in places like Uvita or Dominical or Oachal or so on, kind of like south, middle, west side of the country, burgers are $30. Yogurts are between $5 and $12 for one. Rent, $3,000 a month US. Electricity, $400 to $500 a month. Internet, $150, and it keeps dropping out. Costa Rica absolutely sucks. And the weather is horrendous. I mean, on the west coast of Costa Rica, it's humid all the time. Now, Costa Rica does have nice beaches, but the water is shallow and it's hotter than the air. It's kind of brutal that way. So for me, I did not enjoy Costa Rica. It has 2 industries: overpriced real estate and drugs. Not interested. Rayco, as I said, we do not charge Canadians USD inside of Canada, but Panama uses the US dollar. So for me to charge 5,000 Canadian, I'm losing $1,000 out of my own pocket. So if you're doing business in the USA, Europe, or Panama, Mexico, of course, I have to charge USD because USD is the standard. Sold by Paul. Their lawyer sent you a demand letter. I can play the lawyer game if you like. You let me know if you want me involved with that. Uncle Jack, I'm a pensioner. My pension admin, I believe, kept some of the money that they're supposed to go to you. This is a very common problem. You're not the only one to tell me that kind of thing. If anyone's got a pension out there, cash the whole thing out right away. Let me do your taxes, and I'll get you back every single penny of your taxes in the following tax year. That's exactly how I get that done for you. MT says he loves, or she loves, how I think, and I do appreciate that. Thank you. Here. Dan asks, am I going to come back to Canada for the Civil War? That's the only thing that would get me back to Canada. If Canada entered a full-fledged civil war, there's a few people I'd like to talk to. So that would be my chance. But because Canadians have no fighting spirit whatsoever, there will never be a civil war in Canada. So that's pie in the sky thinking for all of us. And authentic vibrations. If you want to be a successful business in Canada, how do you avoid being governed by tax BS? By just not reporting. By doing everything that I have always said on my show, get you into a new numbered corporation and never do your first tax return, because that's what triggers the contract with the CRA. Wow, 2 hours just came and went. So if you're right now on Instagram and TikTok, stick around just a little bit longer. Everybody else, I got to go. So I want to say thank you to everybody on Rumble tonight, YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Restream, Kick, all of the above. Greatly appreciate all your comments tonight. A lot of interaction. Wonderful. My name is Kevin J. Johnston. This is the Tax and Money Show that runs every single Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on freedomreport.ca. And don't forget, on my website right now, you can get yourself a consultation on October the 1st. That's right. There are 17 spots left for the upcoming one as of right now, 11:01 p.m. Eastern Time on September the 16th. Head over to kevinjjohnston.com right away, please. Get yourself a consultation for that night. It's a group consult. I'm going to lecture for 45 minutes and then take everybody's questions for 2.5 hours. It's a lot of fun. Believe me, a lot of interaction. You'll learn a lot in the private consult. Get your spot now at kevinjjohnston.com. That's what it looks like right there. Thank you for being here. Have yourselves a great night. Take care.